Everybody.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our live show this chilly, rainy kind of Sunday afternoon for us.
Yeah, I think we're even 5 seconds early for the live today. How's that?
There you go.
Punctual. I love punctual people, so there you go.
Hope you're all doing well today.
Yeah, today we are going to talk about the thing that we love about traveling, about cruising the most, and that is how much of a positive experience it is.
Mm-hmm.
We seem to say so many stories out there that seem to be so not representative of what the cruise environment's like and why people come back to cruising over and over again. And we have so many people that haven't cruised that say to us, have you seen the news lately about this cruise ship and what's going on? So we just want to talk about, set some reality in here.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about the positive things about cruising and what we've seen and the things that we've heard we might run into that we've never run into before. So
the things we love.
The things we love about cruising.
Well, hello and welcome. We are Jill and Jerry, the Cruising Canucks.
Yeah, this is our Sunday afternoon live that turns into a podcast on Monday mornings on Spotify and Apple. And if you join us live, and I know a few people always join us for the first time saying, man, when you say hi to everybody in the morning, we in the beginning of the show, we want to just get to the topic. Well, when you go to our podcast, we kind of take out that bit of the show and you can see all just the content about the topic of the day. So Just a little bit of a heads up. So, and if you're here early, then you get to say hi to everybody, just like we like to do every Sunday and check in and see what's going on around the cruising community. So
absolutely.
But today we'll do a little bit of interactive with everybody and talk about things like have you canceled a cruise because of stuff you've heard on the news before? Like these type of things where we feel there's so much fear out there that goes against the opportunities to have so much joy in travel. We just want to kind of talk about that and bring it to the forefront. And let's set it straight about what the positive things are about travel and how all the fearful things we've heard we haven't had happen to us. And a couple of things to update before we do that. And the first one is our videos that have been coming out or have come out. So we finally started getting out the Island Princess. We have the ship tour came out a while ago before the last live. And then we have rolled into getting to New York, followed by you found out how we found out in the video where the captain came on and told us we weren't going anywhere for 3 days. So we had the first day at port. It wasn't really a sail away. We were just kind of hanging out there. And then we had a second day that we spent the day on the ship and we went to, I think, every single venue to eat some food. So what a way to start a cruise. This is we thought we're tied up to the dock. We're not going anywhere. Let's eat everything in sight. So we did. There you go. Nothing better than making all those clothes not fit for the rest of the cruise. And then we had another one that's coming out very soon this week, and that is us still tied to the dock. But we actually get into Manhattan real quick for a poke around, and we find some new stuff on the ship before. Then you also, before the next live, see us sailing finally out of the harbor and heading to Bermuda.
Yay.
So it takes a few days to get going in the vlog because it did in real life. So we're getting there. I see Jill and Simon have joined us.
Checking in. Karen just asked a question before you go into your topic. She asked, what type of weather should one expect in Halifax in the middle of October?
Oh,
weatherman.
Well, the beautiful part about fall in Canada is it could be anything. It could quite literally be a little bit of a heat wave. October is famous for having all of a sudden a week of really unusual summer-like weather. It also could be the other way around. It could be really cold and windy with a chance of even a flurry. Not so much out there because the ocean kind of moderates temperatures. So
my best advice is to pack layers.
Yep.
It's very tricky time of the year to know what to wear. I know when we cruised last October doing a Canada cruise there, we had some really warm days and we had a few that were kind of chilly and cold and damp.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a mixed bag. So again, layers is my best piece of advice.
Yeah, you literally could get anything. So yeah. Yeah, hopefully if it's normal weather, it's probably something in the low teens, I would say. So that would come in
Celsius.
around 55, 60 Fahrenheit would be kind of your seasonal weather for that time of year.
There you go.
With a little colder nights, obviously.
Jillian's agreeing with me. She said, I lived in Halifax and layers are required as you get all 4 seasons.
Sometimes in one day.
In October, yeah. Sometimes in one day, yeah. Yeah, not unlike us here. I think there was one day where I changed my outfit 3 times this week. I was either too hot or too cold, back and forth throughout the day.
Group cruise update. Volendam is full. People keep emailing us saying, "Can you get us on the ship?" And the answer is absolutely not.
Not.
Yeah, we are full as folk yet. And that's just not our group. That's the entire ship. There's not another space left unless you want to stow away and get on that way. There's no other way to get on. So.
All in America has a waiting list that people have joined to get on that cruise, that itinerary. So it is packed full. So we are done booking people there. And now we're at the point where we are getting excited for the planning part of it.
Yeah, and we're also getting excited about another group cruise that we have coming up. There is room for it. Let me see if I can find it. I made a little graphic this week.
There we go.
There you go. So yeah, we have our Caribbean Princess group cruise. And we've got a bunch of people already signed up for it. We're already in the planning stages, but by the end of October, we have to have everybody booked that's going to be on it. And so we are going to be going January 28th. So if you don't have anything booked and you're looking for something to do, we're going on a really unique cruise. We're going 12 days all the way down to Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, the ABC Islands.
Bonaire.
Let me get rid of the picture so they can see you excited. So yeah,
I've got everything crossed that I get to Bonaire on this one.
So yeah, so we still have space on that one that we're booking. But like I said, we've got get towards the end of September, so we have about 5 weeks left before that one will be shut off for booking. So if you want a winter getaway, and the prices aren't too bad, you have to consider it's a 12-day cruise, so it's almost like 2 weeks. It's pretty close. So yeah, when you look at it that way, we thought the price was not too bad for it. So
yeah, we're excited for that. We're in the planning stages of that.
Yeah, we got some group excursions we're getting booked and all kinds of fun stuff. So if you are curious about it, then just go to our website, cruisingcanucks.ca. And you'll see a link there at the top of Group Cruises, and you'll be able to find more information there. And if that doesn't work, just email us. There's lots of ways to get a hold of us. But yeah, we're still booking people. And what's Brenda saying? She's already booked on the same cruise.
Same cruise, November 17th. She booked it before we announced our group cruise.
We'll have to talk to Brenda when she gets back so we know where to hide stuff for the...
Yeah. I'm trying to make up the scavenger list thing, so I might have to put you into work for me. Give me some good points of things they have along the ship.
So question comment of the week. This one is actually quite fitting, and it came in unexpectedly because we had already talking about today's theme. And this person came in, I think it was Lori. And can you read those little letters?
Not a chance.
Nobody can read those letters except maybe you at home. I'll read it by looking over my glasses.
All the people at home that have that 75-inch TV that I tell them they need to put down to the size of an iPhone when they're watching us, they can probably read it.
We need a big one projected on the wall here.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you do. I had a very difficult week. I am watching latest videos from Love Boat TV to chicken nugget hunting. Thank you for the levity. It helps so much. So that was the comment that came in this week to us. Well, you're all choked up now.
All I was going to say is I don't know that if you follow us, if you realize how much comments like that mean to us. It's what keeps us doing what we're doing, because otherwise, you wouldn't be doing this. But people that have sent us support and supportive comments like that makes us want to continue doing it and promote the positivity in cruising and travel in general. And just, living your best life, however that looks for you. For us, it's, traveling together as a couple, traveling with friends. And now our world has just been opened up by doing the Cruising Canucks, because we've met so many wonderful people. And, comments like what Lori just sent, it just hit home to me. I think I just read it at the right time I needed to, because I was dealing with a little bit of frustration with work related stuff and planning group cruises. And to hear someone comment like that, Lori, thank you so much, because it meant the world to us.
For sure. And like I said, it inspired us to make sure we were definitely going to do this live this weekend to talk about this exact type of thing. So there's a lot of negativity out there, I guess, that it isn't representative of the lives that people are living out there and the good times they're having traveling. So trivia question of the week is related.
All right.
See if you can get this one. I'm not even going to give you multiple choice.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Yeah.
So every day, approximately 600 plus cruises set sail worldwide, carrying almost 1 million passengers, 800,000 passengers. On average per day, how many of these ships incur incidents that are significant enough that they arrive in cruise news or in news forums?
Again, he's always about the stats, this guy. I don't know stats.
600 cruises. How many of those 600 cruises do you think have something happen that makes the mainstream media because something bad happened on the cruise?
1%.
1%? So 1% would be, of 600, would be 6. Is that your answer?
Less than 1%.
3 a day, Brenda is saying, I see. And Patrick's at 2, 3. You had 6. You're the high one right now. I think the actual
I
number.
said 1%.
Yeah, 1%.
I thought it was less than that. So
yeah.
I'll say like 2 or 3.
Everybody's pretty close to your numbers. They're single digits, right? K to saying 1. The actual number is, when you average all out, it isn't even 1. It's 0.6. So you have to actually have 2 days worth of cruising around the world before you get one ship that has an incident that might get reported to the media. So in other words, I think it worked out to like 99.9% of all cruises sailing never have anything bad happen on them, that there's no problem on the cruise, that it makes the media and says how awful something happened on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
So when I saw that number, and that was thanks to AI did some research for me in there. AI. And yeah, that made me think that was our experience too. And that kind of hit home for me, is like we've been on more cruises than a lot of people have been. And we do not have these negative incidents happening that we see every day when we go onto YouTube or on the new social media about cruises and all the bad things that are happening. We don't have that experience. So like, yeah. But anyways, that kind of leads us into our topic. And, I have an answer screen too, but I already gave you the answer. Oh, answer D. I actually had it as a multiple choice at one point.
See what I live with?
Yeah. D's the right answer. Nobody answered D. I can't believe they got it all wrong. Moving on. To coin your phrase.
Moving on.
So one thing, we started doing this YouTube thing. We did it for the reason that we wanted to throw our cruises on there for friends and family to see, because I kept saying, what's it like on a cruise ship? Some were actually afraid to go on cruise ships because they didn't know the dynamics. Some with children were afraid to go on because they thought children just could fall off the side of the cruise ship. We had all kinds of crazy stuff. So we're just going to show it on video format, and we'll throw it on YouTube so people can see it. And then all of you started watching. And as soon as we got into the YouTube space, we started realizing and reading and finding out that, everybody said, well, all the clickbait, all the negativity, that's what sells. People want to know the bad news, whatever you do, and then we looked at each other and we said, that is absolutely not us.
That's not us. It's not our mantra. It's not how we live our life. We're not like always peeking around the corner looking to see what bad's going to happen in the future. We are very happy with our lives and feel very blessed and thankful, and we want to present that to the world. And so, we literally taken training on YouTube, online training and all that sort of thing to sort of grow the channel, because we want it to be successful, because we want to promote positivity. And like Jerry said, in that training, there has been experts sort of trying to lead us down a road of doing things that we don't feel it doesn't align with our moral values, and it might get us more followers, but it's not the followers we want. And so we've taken a different path than what some have traveled.
Yeah, we have 15,200 fantastic followers. They're all real. They're all positive like us, as far as I know. And we try to keep it that way. We don't care if we have 100,000 people and 85 are there because I want to hear the latest, greatest, awful news story that came out. Couldn't care less.
We don't, we don't, this is us personally. It's not, and so we took our personal beliefs and our personal values, I guess I would say, and put it into our business. And Cruising Canucks has turned into a business. It started out as a hobby. It is now a business. And we want it to stay and be a positive business and be a positive influence into the world of, that's full of a lot of negativity. We want to be that bright and happy one. I'm not saying that we're never going to say if something happens wrong on a cruise ship. You've heard us complain if Jerry's had a bad chicken fettuccine at a dinner, or if, but we don't try to...
we don't make that the focus.
That's not the focus.
Right.
And we're not narrowing down on that. We will mention if something goes wrong in passing, but we try not to focus on the negative. We definitely want to lead our whole lives by focusing on the positive. And so that's what we present. And it's just been wonderfully received by so many of you. And that's why we wanted to talk about it today.
I think the catalyst for why this topic came to our mind was we launched our first video of our Island Princess series. And for those that haven't seen it, we got on a ship and we didn't go anywhere for 3 days because of a hurricane that was in the way. And they changed our itinerary and we didn't get to 3 of the 4 ports, and a whole bunch of stuff happened. And our response, everybody saw in the video, was, like, we can't believe how positive you are. Like, you're so, you're so graceful with dealing with things like that came up unexpectedly and things that were bad. And we didn't actually see it as a bad thing at all. Like, we knew it was a reality going in. We knew there was a possibility there was going to be a change in itinerary and something happened. And we thought, we're just going to go with it. We're going to be on a cruise ship. We're going to be with good friends. Like, this isn't about finding something negative. Whereas we have known, we've been on other cruises where things have happened here and there. We've had people say, "Oh, that'll be great for your vlog. You can tell that awful thing that happened," or that, and we're like, we're not going to make it about that. It's
not that we're not telling you guys. We do tell you when something bad happens, and I think back to when we were on the Enchanted Princess and there was such a bad weather storm that we lost multiple ports and we had like extended days at sea. We had 4 days in a row at sea when we were only supposed to have one sea day. I mean, yeah, bad things or changes in itinerary. I don't know if I even want to say bad things, but unfortunately weather happens. And yeah, we mentioned it, but we didn't sort of say, oh, the worst storm ever and we almost died on a cruise ship, because we didn't. We were safe and we were well looked after. And so that was the mindset we went with when we went on the Island Princess. We traveled to New York not knowing whether we were going to go on a cruise, to be quite honest with you, kept checking our emails like you've seen. And we felt that Princess looked after us wonderfully and did the right thing, and we were safe and we had a fabulous time. And so it's a positive change. Yeah. It was something, that maybe you didn't plan. We missed out on 3 ports. That would have been lovely. My goal in life is to always be in the ocean as much as possible. So I missed 3 days of snorkeling because of the change, but I still had a fabulous time.
Yeah, we often run into people on cruise ships, and they'll come up to us and they'll meet us and say hi to us, and then they'll also want to get into something about cruise news, right? They'll be like, "Hey, you guys heard about this? Or what do you think of this that happened?" And we'll be looking at them thinking, I didn't even hear about that. And I think they kind of are caught off guard a little bit. And I think that's because we don't live our life looking at all that stuff. That, like, if there's a ship we're going on and we're going to be cruising there or going on with a group or whatever else, then if something catches our attention that's relevant to us, then we want to know a little bit about it, because it kind of may impact us. But if there's stuff going on about other ships that we're not going to go on, that we haven't been on somewhere else, like, we just don't focus on that. We focus on planning the next adventure. We've planned opportunities. Like, we're not naive. We know there's parts of the world that might be unsafe to go to, and we pay attention to that. We plan accordingly. We know there's some ships that might be to our liking, might not be our liking because of negative or whatever type of features. So we just try to find where the opportunity is to have a great time, to have the joy of traveling, and not focus and say, I have a fear. And my biggest thing that really upsets me and gets me down about someone else, that, they say they want to travel, but they're afraid to because of the things going on in the world right now, or the cruise ship industry, it's so, this and that, because they just see these news stories. And there's so many, like, millions of people that go on cruise ships every year and have a wonderful vacation experience. The proof is they keep coming back because cruising is booming. But the focus is on the negativity of the things that happen here and there on a cruise ship. That's a negative thing. And I just think that's unfair to the cruise industry, and it's not representative of what our experience is.
Yeah. I go back to, when we first went on the New Stondom, it was just after cruising was resuming from the pause of COVID. And cruise ships at that point were currently sailing at 50% at the time. And when we left to go on that cruise, we received so many sort of cautious words from friends and family saying, "Are you guys crazy? What are you doing? Why are you going on a cruise ship? You're going to get COVID. You're going to be sick." All of that. But we followed the guidelines that the government and the cruise lines had put in place. We had the insurance. We did our research. We went on the ship. We had 2 fabulous weeks of cruising on a ship that was at 50%. So we never felt like we were in a crowded spot. We had our own space. We made smart decisions in that we rented a cabana for the week so that we knew we would have our own sort of separate space and be safe while we were there. We came back. We were tested negative. We had no COVID. We were wonderful. And yet half the people that we left at home, not at our home, but in our workplaces and that, they all caught COVID in our local area, going to
when we were away.
while we were away. So again, but there's such a negative idea out there about that cruise ships caused COVID, that was the start of it. And, we were very happy that we were able to prove that you can cruise and cruise safely, even at a time when the world was saying you couldn't. I'm not saying that that's not everybody. I know that people have got COVID on a cruise ship. I'm not oblivious to that. I'm just saying, that we didn't have to focus on the negative stuff, and we focused on the positive part of it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that there's been so many things that we've heard that have been negative or big fears about traveling, and we feel like we've debunked a lot of those myths. Like we had a time where everybody was talking about there's luggage piled up at airports around the world and nobody's get their luggage. Everybody's losing their luggage, and we were going on trip after trip after trip, bringing 4 suitcases at a time, never losing a piece of luggage. But again, we said, okay, if there is a risk, then we need to possibly get air tags and put them in our luggage and be able to track them just in case they get lost. So we thought we're not going to be like naive that this doesn't happen.
Make precautions where you need to. And so air tags for us, masks while we were flying, and hand sanitizer. I mean, my backpack looks a little bit like a medical system in that I've got hand sanitizer and masks and everything you might need to keep yourself safe and germ free while traveling. Yeah, we do all the precautions. I don't harp on that when we're on the vlog, but I mean, that's just our common sense of how we live our life and what we do. Washing your hands before you go to a buffet, so to try to prevent any sort of thing, and then washing your hands before you start eating your food. We'll wash our hands going in and then use hand sanitizer when we sit down in a buffet. All of these little things that we try to do to be healthy and not, have issues.
Like another example was at the time when all the flights were being canceled. Remember then there were short staff and pilots and all this stuff, and we came back from a cruise and we only had it happen to us once, but we did have it happen to us. We got notice that our flight had been canceled the day we were getting back.
Yeah,
we didn't get upset. We said, hey, we're getting off a cruise. We're in Florida. It's pretty cold in Canada. We got an extra day in the sun. Let's book a hotel and let's have a nice day. And that's what we did.
And we did. We made the best out of it. Again, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. I mean, we had a lot of people saying, oh my gosh, you must have been so anxious. I mean, we both had to call our employers and say, sorry, we're stuck in Florida. We can't come back to the 5 feet of snow that we currently have at home. And I mean, yeah, it was, we were thankful that we had the travel insurance, which we did. And so that covered the cost of the hotel. And so we ended up having a sunset walk on the beach as our last night in Florida.
We watching our cruise ship leave that we just came back from. Yeah, it was kind of surreal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, there will be glitches in travel. There will be canceled flights. There will be delays in flights, possibly lost luggage. But you just have to sort of, move on from that and do what you can to sort of have the best time and the best outlook, because you don't want one glitch along your travel to ruin the whole experience.
Yeah, for sure. And you don't want to not travel. The joy of traveling is worth getting out there and doing it. And I think when you go out and do it yourself, you lose all that apprehension. You lose all that fear of thinking all this stuff everybody was trying to tell me was so scary. I've realized it's not. Like we went to Europe. All we heard about from people was, oh, there's so many pickpockets, so much petty crime in Europe. It's going to be awful. People are going to steal everything. Don't put your backpack down, all this stuff. So we were smart about it. We made sure we had nothing in our back pockets. We had everything kind of, in front of us, and we watched each other as we walked to make sure nobody was getting in our way. We avoided people trying to make suspicious conversations in the middle of nowhere for no reason. Mm-hmm. And we've never had any pickpocket or crime problems at all in Europe, and we've been back 3 times now. So,
right. But yeah, we do take the precautions. We don't, walk around with much cash. Jerry doesn't carry a wallet when we're in Europe.
Not allowed.
Or a medallion, anything. Jerry carries the camera. It's the only thing he makes sure he doesn't lose.
Oddly enough, camera's usually worth more than the cash.
Yeah, exactly. We definitely. But yeah, we haven't had problems. But again, it's promoting the positives point of it and not being so negative and thinking, oh, this possibly could happen. Yes, there's a lot of possibilities that could happen, but there's a lot of wonderful things. And when you open yourself up to enjoying new experiences, you're rewarded so much. Our life has grown so much to the betterment because of our travel and our outlook at what we want to do around the world, and seeing the world and trying to be kind in that aspect and how that works. And I mean, we had one incident I'll talk about that years ago. We flew into a city in Florida. We went to get our rental car because we had to drive to the carport. We were around a 4-hour drive away from where we flew into because we were working on a very tight budget at the time and we couldn't afford to fly into Fort Lauderdale. Anyways, we went to the rental car line, big giant line, and we can hear everybody yelling at the staff as they got up there because there was no rental cars. And all we're thinking is we need to get to 4 hours away, and get on this cruise ship or else the whole vacation's ruined.
No
what
car.
are we going to do? They have no cars. Like, we've heard them tell 15 people over the last hour that we've been in this line that they have no cars. What are we going to do? Anyways, finally make it up to the front desk, and Jerry looks at the guy and he says, I'm sorry you're having such a hard day. I hear that you don't have any cars. I just want to see what alternative and how if you could advise me, because we're not from this area, how we could get to a bus stop or how we can get an alternative way to get to our cruise ship. We have a cruise ship that we're trying to get to in this amount of hours. The gentleman looked at Jerry and he said, thank you so much for being so respectful and kind. And he said, come with me. He brought us into a back room and said, if there's only two of you, I have a tiny little car that's available. It's not big enough for anybody else, but it's just you and your wife. And Jerry said, yeah, it's just me and my wife. They gave us the tiniest little car, like it should have been in the circus for a clown. It was a three, like the trunk put one suitcase.
One, and we had four.
Yeah. I had a suitcase on my lap. Anyways.
And we drove this little tiny car down the I-75.
Through the horrible
Through the
storm.
worst rainstorm. People are spinning out and going in the ditch, and we're riding what felt like just a glorified lawnmower down the road.
It was like a dinky car, it felt like. But anyways, we got there, and it happened, wonderfully. We were able to drop off that car, and everything worked out well. But that was a point, that stood out in my mind. That was before we were vlogging. And, we were probably relatively new into traveling much, and we were able to make that work for us. And I thought, we listened to people swearing, yelling, having full-on fits at these poor staff members. And because we went with a positive attitude and a kind voice, look what happened to us. We were blessed and we were looked after. So again, your outlook on it is what, we've learned. I'll never forget that story, because that is how I approach any situation now, whether it be a flight canceled or a hotel room not ready when we go to check in.
Problem with the cruise cabin, it's like making a funny noise that we had on the Sun Princess. And we went down there and said, there's a bad noise and we can't sleep. Is there anything you do? But we weren't upset. We were just like, it's,
right.
What are the options here? Yeah.
Kindness goes a long way in this world.
I kind of feel like, the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote cartoons. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the negative cruise news is the coyote. And he keeps dropping stones and trying to dynamite the Roadrunner. And the Roadrunner just keeps going, beep, beep, and keeps on going. Like, we're kind of like the Roadrunner, right? Like, you can drop boulders on us. You can throw stuff at us. If we're going on a vacation, we're staying positive, and off we go. And I hope everyone else can approach travel that way too, because things are going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's so complex, all the different moving pieces to make something happen on a vacation, that there's always something going to happen. So you can't ever think. And if nothing happens, then you lucked out.
And not every time something happens, right? We've been on 52 cruises at this point, and yeah, there's been some missed itineraries. There's been some delays. There's been luggage lost for 8 hours, but we eventually found it, stuff like that. But again, when our luggage was lost on the Norwegian cruise, as opposed to, going down and yelling at them, I said, can I go search for it myself? And they let me in the room and I saw it right away. Just how you approach things.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we've been on cruises where bad things have happened, like tragedies to individual people. When something happens to them on a cruise, like anywhere else in the world, an injury or something. And we're not filming it, and we're not even talking about it. Like, you don't even know about it until now from us saying that. But we went on cruise where things have happened to people.
We were on a cruise where there was a really bad accident, and the cruise had to be rerouted. And that night, because of this accident, we went on social media, and it was posted all over social media. But we didn't put anything, and we were on the ship, whereas other cruise vloggers were posting stuff that weren't on the ship. But we were on the ship, and we just, looked at each other and said, no, like this was a horrible day for one person, and it's not our business, and we're staying out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it's odd, like I had in the trivia answer there. You never see a news story saying, hey, 600 ships set sail today around the world on cruises. Everybody was 800,000 people ready to have a great time. Mm-hmm. And they all went off without a hitch. And what a wonderful time those people had. You never hear that news story.
Or the news story that, hey, this couple just had their first trip after retirement. And then they did a dream trip to Venice and sailed in the Mediterranean for 2 weeks and had the most fabulous trip of their lives that brought tears to their eyes. Like, that's the stuff that we're seeing and we know happens every single day on the cruise. And we're hearing it from many of you, telling us about your travels and how you're moved to tears at certain things, like we were the first time we went to Lisbon and we looked out at this beautiful city, and it had been a dream of mine for so long to travel to Europe and to travel to Europe with my husband, and just feeling so blessed at that moment. And that's what's important in the world is, spending your life in a positive way with people you love.
Surrounding yourself with positive people, yeah. And I think when it comes down to, when I thought about this topic, I was thinking, well, when you're thinking about going, say, on your first cruise, who are you going to believe? The whole world of social media stuff that none of those people, they're just posting stuff because they want attention. Or the people that that have been on a cruise. Like, go to the people that have actually done it, because they're going to tell you the reality. They're not going to give you something because they're looking to get a like or a click or a view.
Right.
So just keep that in mind. Get your information from people you trust and Don't get it from people that are on social media. Which, ironic, we're on social media right now.
Don't listen to us is what he's saying. No,
wait till you cruise with us and get to know us.
Like everything in the world, we have to sort of filter out the good and the bad. And so use that filter that you have.
I see a couple comments here. We'll talk to a few people here, and then throw in your comments, whatever you have to say, whether or not you think we're making it up or whether you agree with this.
Yeah. And like, share your positivity, share it with us right now. If you have a great experience that you want to share about a cruise or travel in general that you've had, let us know about it. But yeah, let's just promote the positivity out there. There's enough negative stuff going on that we need to keep our travel days to being something that is so rewarding that we all love to do.
Hadley Coles are saying they love your content, not interested in the dirty laundry.
Yeah, I have enough dirty laundry in the next room I've got to clean. It's true.
And it's funny because by being positive, we find that we are attracting people that are also positive.
That's right.
And what's really interesting is we talk to other vloggers, how they're managing their YouTube channel comments, for example. And there's just some nasty stuff that goes around social media. We hardly get any of that. And I think it's because we don't attract that type of crowd. We're attracting people that have a forward-looking, positive attitude about travel and cruising, and they're not coming to us because they want to throw around the slop and be negative, right? Yeah. And if they are, we delete them.
Well, that's true. There was a little bit of negativity that was on our Facebook page this beginning of this year. And, we had to sort of delete people from it, because one of the things that we say right when you join our Facebook group is that, we use manners here. We have Canadian politeness, which is, a whole other kettle of fish these days. But, we don't want to put anything negative out there in the world. Yeah, we want honesty. And yes, if something bad happened and you say it in a respectful way, that's totally fine. Yep. But when you're making half truths or blowing things up, then, we don't want to promote that.
And we have Jill and Simon weighing in. They're joining us. They were a little bit late. I think they said an earlier comment.
You have both given your all to the public, the majority of which appreciate you and your opinion and your values. What you have given is more than what we, your fellow travelers, can give you in return. Thank you. It's going to make me cry. But meeting people like Jill and Simon is, again, why we're doing this. And thank you, Jill. It's just been so wonderful to see such positive and uplifting people from all over the world. We have now been graced at meeting people throughout Europe and from Australia and all of that has just have the same sort of mindset as we do, that, life is short and let's get every positive moment out of it and enjoy it while we can.
Yeah. And I know I disagree with Jill and Simon in the fact that I feel we've got more back than what we've given to people.
Yeah, I do feel that way too. I would say that too. I feel like I've tried to explain it to people over the last few years, but I don't think I've done it well. I don't have the words to say how much it's improved our life by having so many positive people from all over the world reaching out to us and being a part of our patrons and going on group cruises with us, making daily comments on the YouTube, waking up in the morning in YouTube. One of the first things I do every morning while I'm having my morning tea now, I've switched from coffee, is I have, I go through all the YouTube comments and I just say to Jerry, oh my gosh, you got to hear how sweet this one was. Listen to how wonderful these people were. And it's just abundance. And we just feel we're blessed beyond compare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A Turner wants to know how our favorite cruising couple's doing.
We're doing very well.
Yep. And Gail is saying we have a friend who calls ships a petri dish. We were on a cruise right after it ended. We had proof of vaccines, negative tests, no problem. We had norovirus on the shirt. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like any small community anywhere, whether it's it could be a seniors complex, it could be a school, it could be your workplace.
I was just going to say, I worked in a school for 25 plus years, and trust me, I caught everything coming home from the school. And don't get me wrong, I've been on cruise ships and I've caught things. I got a really bad cold years ago before we were vlogging that turned into pneumonia, and I was sick for weeks afterwards. It does happen. But again, I still had a fabulous time on my cruise, even though I was, in my bed a lot watching TV and, out on the sun deck away in the corner from everybody, just letting the sun try to naturally heal me, stuff like that. I still don't regret that I took the cruise.
Brenda's agreeing that, it can happen at all-inclusive resorts as well, right?
It does. And it can happen anywhere. It can happen at your local grocery store. You can catch a cold or something. But,
Ob and Steve are saying, thanks for sharing your travel experiences. You're very genuine. It's great to see.
Thank you.
For wonderful. Sure. Yeah. And we do wander around YouTube from now and then. Obviously want to see other other cruise vloggers and stuff. And we're often, we struggle to find people that are just there doing the positive thing and not trying to do the attention getting thing. And it kind of,
we are actively trying to support smaller channels that are doing the positive thing, because we found a few that are smaller than us that are trying to grow, and they keep, a few have reached out and asked how do what's the key and what's the special sauce to make a channel grow. And we don't really know it, to be honest, because we don't follow what the experts tell you to do, because again, going back to what I said earlier in the show, if we followed what the experts would say, I'd be doing a lot of negative talking, and we don't do it. But I think being genuine, being honest, being positive is what has made us grow to 15,000 plus subscribers. And that's the only way we know how to live life anyways. So it's worked for us. But anyways, in saying all that, we're trying to do the best we can to support them and, like their comments, follow them, subscribe to their channels, and help them to grow naturally, and promote them when we can.
Look at Doug has done to you.
Oh my.
Thank you, Doug.
Love your content and the Cruising Canucks family.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
And we love meeting you and Nancy. We can't wait to cruise on you on every single one of our group cruises. Doug is booked with us with Nancy. So
yeah. We're so excited.
We're so excited. That. So maybe Doug was thinking that you need to get past that tea thing, go buy some coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. I've given up coffee, guys. That's a whole other live. But yes, I am. I have not had a cup of coffee since I got off the Island Princess, and it's not because the Island Princess didn't do good coffee. I'm trying to do things a little bit healthier, and cutting out caffeine has been one of them.
Yeah, it's not even real tea she's having. It's like mint stuff.
Yeah, well, real tea has caffeine in it. So I'm just having peppermint tea. That's all I drink for a warm drink these days.
I'm working the tea, but the good stuff. And we have Rosie saying, love you too, making cruising fun. Thank you, Rosie.
Thank you.
And she's saying, love your dress no matter what.
Thank you. I love that you dress up no matter what. Up. Yeah, I mean, and that's something that we love too, and we know that we're in the minority of people now. Most people don't like to dress up when they travel or cruise, but I'm now working from home, and so my general outfit is a pair of yoga pants and a sweatshirt in the winter. I might have a sundress on in the summer, but it's nice to get on a cruise and dress up. I love doing it, and Jerry, for a man, loves to wear a suit. I'm very fortunate for that, because a lot of men don't, and I can understand, because it doesn't look like a comfortable outfit. But he's never had a problem with wearing a suit whenever I say, oh, it's formal night, and he sometimes wants to get dressier than I will want to pack for him. So thank you.
Do good at doing what I'm told.
You do good at doing what you're told. At times.
Rosie didn't say...
Only around the dressing, not around the rest of things in life.
Rosie didn't say Jerry, that was Jerry dresses up. Just you, though.
It's good, Rosie.
Oh. And Rosie says that she was brought to tears in Santorini.
Yeah, right? What a gorgeous spot. Yeah, I was brought to tears in Santorini too. I don't know if it was because of that, but it might have been because our cable car hit the rock and I thought I was going to die. So there's another moment. But we did, yeah. And that's funny, because Jerry did videotape a little bit of me having a bit of a nervous breakdown on that thing, and he put it out as a little short reel on YouTube, I think it was. Anyways, it was the highest viewed one we ever did because it was probably the closest to negativity because I was so afraid. So.
Frank is saying that he just got off the Ovation of the Sea last week. What a great time. They had a full orchestra on board. That was fantastic.
That's lovely. We love it when we hear that there are live musicians, an orchestra.
And positive news. Because
awesome.
if you turn on the news, you hear so many other things about Royal Caribbean. But I'm happy to hear that they're doing that on the Ovation of the Sea. That's amazing because we love the live music.
We do, for sure.
Yeah, live bands or live music at the production shows is even bigger value added.
And we had that even on the Island Princess, a little tiny ship, and it was phenomenal. Yeah.
And Charlene is here saying, meeting wonderful people who are like-minded and becoming lifelong friends.
Yeah,
right?
Thank you. That's right, Charlene.
Yep. And someone's laughing about my anchovies.
You're right, Howard. He did not eat them. As much as Paul and Carol and I were all like, eat them, eat them, eat them. No way. He took those off. And like someone said this week, I'm sure you've had anchovies on your salad before on cruise ships and fine restaurants, but they've just been chopped up. But because they served them whole, he was able to spot what that was, and there was no convincing from any of us to get them to eat them.
No, if they're ground up in the Caesar dressing mix, then I may have to stop eating Caesar salads. They were weird looking, that's for sure. And Ken is saying he loves all your positive outlooks on life. We had luggage loss for 3 weeks on a European cruise right after COVID, but we had a fantastic trip because we had a positive attitude.
That's right. There you go. Yeah. I mean, it might be a little stressful, I'm sure. And I know, like my parents years ago, my father's suitcase never made it on a cruise ship. They did 14 days without any clothes. And my mother, tells stories of having to go to ports and getting clothes for him as they went along. But they still had a fabulous cruise. Exactly.
Yeah. You see something like that as a shopping opportunity.
That would be, it would be bad and good all at the same time. I don't know. I guess it depends on where you're cruising to. Like, it'd be great if it was in the Mediterranean where there's some wonderful shopping, but you're limited in some of the Caribbean ports to find something that you would want to buy to wear.
A lot of tight pants in the European ports.
A lot of tight. Jerry
Italian tight pants.
His Italian tight pants. He has one pair of khaki pants that he calls his Italian tight pants, which they aren't Italian. They're Calvin Klein pants that I bought him, and they're not tight, but they're slimmer fitting than some of his clothes.
Walter says, true Canadians in attitude and spirit.
Well, thanks, Walter.
And we've got Joan saying she had a cold for last 3 days of her Alaskan cruise. However, she could have caught a cold while staying home or going out shopping, not going to cower in my house and not enjoy cruising.
Yeah, absolutely, Joan. We feel the same way. Jerry and I caught a cold when we were both on the Enchanted Princess in the Mediterranean. It lasted around 3 days. And of course, we caught it separately. So there was around 6 days between the two of us that one or two of us weren't feeling well. So we sort of just skipped going to the live venues as much as we could, and ended up having hot tub couple nights, just hanging out in the hot tub, watching the stars. It was glorious. Yeah. You just sort of alter what you do.
Well, it's funny because, we had that episode and we didn't really, I don't know if we said much of anything about it on the blog. Mm-hmm. And it's because we didn't want that negative stigmatism, because we knew as soon as we said to someone, we're on the ship, we got a little bit of a cold, then that would bring that negative, of course you're sick, you're on a cruise ship, and spreading it to everybody. And it was the opposite. It was just a little tickle. We stayed away from everybody. We like you said, we did everything.
We had a dining room table for two, so we still did keep going to the dining room, but we didn't go to the theater shows because we didn't want to bring germs to the theater, stuff like that.
Yep. So, yep. And Rosie is realizing she didn't say that I dress up now.
Oh, funny.
Patrick and Marietta, they have met some most amazing group of friends thanks to our positive experience that showcase your vlogs.
Well, thank you. Yes. Patrick and Marietta are getting ready to go and meet some of those great friends that they've met on our first group cruise, and they cruise with them all the time. And that's so joyous for us to see. And we can't wait to get together with all of you guys soon.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave is here.
Mm-hmm.
And haven't heard from Dave in a while.
Hi, Dave.
Hopefully he's doing well.
Hope you and your family are well.
Don't talk about the Enchanted Princess. There's only one ship.
That we both know that is. David might really have a love relationship with the Sky Princess. Might be his favorite ship ever. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, the Sky Princess holds a special spot in our heart. That's where our daughter got married, was on the Sky Princess, and so for that, it's probably up there in my top favorite ships. But yes, but Dave, you can expand your horizons. There's some other beautiful ships too.
Try the Island Princess. Loved it. And GS here is my cruise itinerary. Oh, you want to do it?
Sorry, my cruise itinerary change was out of my control. I was looking at this itinerary for the future, so I wasn't upset. I didn't try for any compensation. The new itinerary was a higher price cruise. So there you go. Mm-hmm. And that does seem to be happening a little bit more and more, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if it's, whether it's a perception thing or not, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But it's, we've heard a few people have canceled cruises, and we've had changes in itineraries recently with family that booked with us. Yeah. Hadley Cole, they're telling you
to like and subscribe. Please do that if you haven't already done so.
There you go.
Helps us out a lot.
That's how bad of YouTubers we are. We don't even say that to people.
But yeah, we're not great at remembering to do that. But we only want people to like and subscribe if it's true. So we're not trying to force people to do it, right? Yeah.
Oh, Gail says that I should wear the ear patches, I think she's saying, behind my ear for motion sickness. Yeah? So that way I don't have to remember to take a pill.
Oh.
I guess the problem is I really wasn't forgetting to take the pill. I was just refusing to take the pill. It's a little different.
It's kind of like traveling with well, I was going to say a toddler, but I think more a teenager, because they won't listen to you, but they're old enough to argue back. And you can't, a toddler, you just put it down their throat.
I did do that once before, though, when we first started cruising, and all it did was made me really tired, so I slept the whole cruise.
I was just going to say, I wonder if they, it was a long time ago, 20-something years ago now that he first tried it, or 20 years ago. But he was so sleepy, I couldn't get him to do anything. He just slept day and night. He would have like 3 naps a day and then sleep 10 hours at night. It was ridiculous. So I don't know if they have a non-drowsy version.
Maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's probably evolved a lot since I had it.
Since you've tried them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Brenda says she doesn't like Enchanted Princess as much as you.
Oh.
But
found it hard to get around, but her daughter loved it.
Her daughter loved it. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. We always say that there's a ship for everybody, right? There really is. So you have to kind of find your thing, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say find your jam, because I've been told I say that way too much.
Way too much.
As much as I say for sure, and then you jam, I've got to get those words gone.
There you go.
Okay, I think that's the last of the comments. We were able to wrap it up.
Okay.
So, but thank you everybody for joining and listening and being part of just talking about the wonderful things that are going on and not having to pay attention to all the negativity that we kind of see hitting our inboxes and our social medias all the time. So,
and sort of speaking onto that truth, we are so excited for our upcoming, not only just group cruises, but we have a few personal cruises booked again. But we're just so happy for our upcoming cruises and experiences that we're going to have with so many of you.
Yeah, don't leave yet, because I forgot to tell you, we got a live coming up in a couple of weeks, but I think we're going to have announcements about a group cruise that we finally got figured out for 27.
27, yes.
And also then right after that, we've got some announcements about a couple of really amazing cruises, like 2 cruise lines we've never done before this fall. We're excited, as you can tell. Super small ships. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So anyways, enjoy yourselves. We've been doing every other week. I think we said this last week, or we've been doing it all summer long, but until Canadian Thanksgiving hits, then we're going to go back to doing every weekend. But we've got a whole bunch of family stuff, boat stuff, everything, catching up with things. So we're going to miss every other Sunday until Thanksgiving, and then we'll be back every weekend.
That's right.
And by then the snow will be coming anyway, so there'd be nothing to do but watch us. Or nothing for us to do but be on the camera, I guess.
I was just going to say, I think we get the most snow out of anybody that watches us. So.
Dave, one last question from Dave. Wants to know if you find
prices are really expensive
right now.
Plus, do you both find the quality of food and services have gone down a bit? It seems like cruise ships are cutting costs.
I find prices were up for a while, but I found actually lately I've been seeing some better deals. I don't know if I'm getting better at looking or what's going on, but I have noticed there's been some deals that I'm like, that's not too bad a price. I don't know if it's because I was used to seeing high prices. And I find as far as, I find with the cruise lines, it seems to be wavering. Different cruise lines are cutting back. Some are adding more value, trying to get new customers. I find it's an ongoing battle between the cruise lines. But
well, and sometimes even with the same cruise line in different
Ships,
ships. We're
yeah.
finding, I will say the one thing that I was happy about on the Island Princess, and Princess is still doing this, and a lot of cruise lines have stopped. They're still having a lobster night on their second formal night of the cruise, which I think is great because, there are a lot of cruise lines that have taken that off of the menu unless you pay for it. But yes, there's been changes, it's constantly changing, and that's sort of, a little bit of a challenge that we deal with when it comes to vlogging. We will put out a video. For instance, someone will ask us about our canard experience on the Queen Elizabeth because they're doing the Alaskan run next summer, and they're asking us specific things about food or whatever. And I'm like, things change so much from cruise ship to cruise ships. They're all constantly changing staff, crew, and menus and entertainment and stuff like that. But yeah, it's great.
There you go. Okay, we're going to wrap it up there. That's the end of our Sunday.
We have.
We're going to go see if it's raining out still, or we can go for a walk or not.
Oh, it's going to make me go for a walk.
She'll be cheering for rain this time.
I have much more energy in the morning to go for a walk, but right around now when Jerry says, oh, we haven't done our daily walk yet, let's get going, I am very not motivated by the afternoon, evening.
We'll see.
Anyways, until next time, I hope you guys are all doing well and take care. And thank you so much for joining us today.
See you in 2 weeks, everybody. Take care.
Bye for now.